Hi everyone, welcome back to MovieTube. I'm Jade and I'm here with Jordan.
Hello.
And the two of us are going to be discussing episode 2 of Halo the series on Paramount Plus. If you hadn't already watched our first one, check that out and then come back to this one. This is for episode 2 and we're kind of just gonna discuss our thoughts each week after each episode. So yeah, take it away, Jordan.
Yeah, we should preface spoilers, right? We're probably going to spoil the episode. But yeah, we haven't spoken about it. We're fresh off. I just rolled credits on the episode. I assume you did too. Mm-hmm. You want me to give my opinion first?
Sure. Let's just dive in.
Okay. I feel pretty similar to the way I did last episode, which is funny because I think that they're very different episodes, like different kind of vibes. But I think this episode is a perfectly adequate hour of sci-fi television. A lot of it didn't feel like Halo, but I guess that I don't really want to beat that dead horse a ton because I think that that's going to be the vibe of the show, right? It's doing its own thing. They've made that clear. It's the silver age, silver age.
Right, yeah.
Canon, silver canon that they've talked about. So I think it's going to be something different. I've just got to get used to that. But it was a perfectly fine hour of sci-fi television. He refuses to put his helmet on.
And I'm taking it off every chance I get.
I'm not going to nitpick it a ton, but I just have to mention it. This man is just walking the streets. People got guns in their hand, and he has not got the helmet on like the whole episode. He puts it on like 4 times, but it's like he's like bonk, bonk, like
instantly back off.
but I like Bokeem Woodbine, who is the actor that Soren was his name. Soren,
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, we get introduced to him in a flashback episode that it was one of his friendly Spartans that had run away from the UNSC at a younger age. The young soldiers have access to their armor and weapons apparently at nighttime, even when they're sleeping. don't know how. Maybe they broke in and got it. I don't know, but
true. Maybe he stole it.
And we get to see a bit of a different side to John, and we get some more UNSC politics and a bit of the sort of back and forth, and we dig into now we starting to see things like the Cortana and digging into the AI storylines.
Okay.
Yeah, some Halo stuff in the last quarter.
Yeah,
and where it ends, I will say I'm intrigued to see where they're going, and I don't really I couldn't have picked how they're running like the plot progression. It's very a weird way to do it, like kind of going one way then coming kind of reverting a bit back. And seemingly like it's threading some stuff like where we're going to get Cortana and maybe wipes him back of that emotional connection that he's now gaining. And it's like, it just seems like, okay, well, why do it? Like, why have this connection with Quan and things with Soren? So, but I don't know. It's hard to say. We'll go back and forth, but I'll let you give your opinion and then we'll jump back in. What do you feel about it?
I actually feel quite differently to the first episode as I do this.
Okay.
So the first episode obviously had its ups and downs, but I at least felt like, cool, all right, this is a Halo show. It's in its own canon, but it's still the world of Halo. And it's still, somewhat following like a situation that someone in the world of Halo could be in. Yeah. But this episode just felt like it had nothing to do with Halo until, like you said, like the very end, which that did intrigue me. But yeah, it just kept taking me out of like, wait, what? Like none of this is ever explored in any of the Halo games or lore that I've seen. So it was definitely very different in that way. None of it bad, like in its own right, just it didn't fit in the Halo world at all.
Yeah. No, although I totally agree with you. I think, I can understand exactly where you're coming from. When I say that I feel the same, it's more so that, like, episode 1 was an expectation setter for me. Of, like, okay, this is different, and they are very different, like, as in, a lot of episode 1 felt like it didn't hit the mark on being Halo, but had Halo elements. Yeah. Whereas this one feels more like it's doing its own thing. I just kind of feel a bit flat on both approaches.
That's fair.
Fair. I think with my expectations set, like I think there's probably going to be a lot of people that feel either dislike this episode quite heavily or are more intrigued as on just a like not generic, I should say, just a more. It's a
Sci-fi.
sci-fi show that has interesting aspects. For me, none of the characters. If it wasn't Halo, I would check out.
Absolutely.
Like if it wasn't Master Chief, and if we didn't have the I want to see Jackals. I was excited to see the Warthog. I want to see where they're going with the Prophets.
The Prophets look good again. Once again, they look great.
The CG we can give that a positive. It looked a lot better. There was no action in this episode.
No heavy action. Yeah.
But like the ship, and we're still seeing space and things. So it's like there is CG involved. It looked a lot better, but. If it wasn't Halo, I don't know if I would stick around. Like, there's not a lot hooking me to the narrative enough to spend another hour invested, if that makes sense. But I'm not saying it. That I really think that a lot of people are probably going to beat this episode up, and I don't think it was bad. I think it was a perfectly serviceable an hour of sci-fi television with decent writing and decent character work and decent
world building.
Progress some plots, and I feel like some stuff felt a bit regressive, but for the most part, it progressed what it was doing and raises some interesting or intriguing plot lines. And we're seeing the Blessed One, which is a new character introduced. We're seeing maybe little parallels with her and John, both scarred and
kind of under the guise or control or like admiration of a system that is clearly taking advantage of the people.
I guess she seems more authoritative. I guess,
but
in this
she
situation.
she seemed like maybe she was like captured from very young or something, and they wanted to see if they could like convert her, and they did, or something like that.
Well, the Prophets from that's definitely what I think they're going to go down, but it's always hard because I don't want to jump to conclusions because that's my conclusion based on the video game version of the Prophets.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I totally, I get that vibe too. But so I don't really know how much more I can really dig into it. Like, I just don't want to be a downer, right? Like, I think it's easy to jump in and nitpick and be like, hey, this, like, but there's it's a lot of plot.
I mean, it was an hour-long episode.
A lot of exposition.
Yes, a lot of back and forth, a lot of helmet back off and on and off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested. Yeah, I'm interested with the man that they've placed in Madrigal.
Yeah, this one of the UNSC leaders.
Getting his name.
Me too. But they based him there, and he's like spreading a lot of like propaganda. And at the end, Quan was watching and like really upset. Obviously.
Much like I felt with the last episode, and I say it left me a lot flat in some ways. Similarly, like some areas move so fast, whereas it also feels extremely slow in a lot of areas. Like we feel like we're covering a season's worth of story, like of him finding humanity, trying to figure out himself, having some sort of budding relationship with a younger character. But then maybe seeding in the idea of getting Cortana and stuff. But it's like, it feels like it's moving fast, but also the show is also moving very slowly, if that makes sense.
Totally, because it feels like John has already progressed through a lot of different stages of his growth and development in a really short period of time. And it becomes a bit confusing to the audience, like what part of the story is going as fast as he is and what part's not.
But we had, as I said, like, I guess that's the fan in me of like, hearing The Ring and hearing these elements pop up towards the last quarter of the episode. And obviously the artifact is now on Reach, which my immediate conclusion is Reach will fall.
Yeah, full of Reach, But like you said, it's not always canon. It can be completely separate. Yeah,
I'm just at the point now where it's like they're trying to do something different. And I'm like, okay, this is the John we're getting. And I think Pablo Schreiber, I'm not too sure how to say his name, but he's playing John. I think he's perfectly good as John. Like, I think he's a good actor.
He's a great actor.
He's doing good with the material. It's hard to separate from the games a bit, but he's doing good. I think he's a good actor. It's just like at the point where, okay, cool. It hasn't convinced me why this new story is worth it.
Yeah, totally.
I guess 10 episodes.
10 episodes of an hour each. Like, why is this worth 10 hours of content?
We'll see if the changes and in the long run it pays off for them. But as of right now, I think I feel the exact same way as I felt last episode. Like, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. I think it's perfectly serviceable. In the music was good, if a little bit more Mass Effecty than Halo. Even the world, the planet that they
Yes.
visit was more Guardians of the Galaxy than
Oh my god, yeah, so
than Halo.
different than Halo. I mean, I guess so was the first world of Madrigal, in my opinion. That also felt extremely different, but at least maybe that could have
Yeah.
somewhat been like, the Sangheili home world, home planet, but
Well, but Madrigal kind of, yeah, but I guess they were tackling like the insurrectionist sort of aspect, so it's like they were just in a
but that's
hideout
once again, they
area.
moved so fast on from that.
Yeah.
Like now all the characters, at least within the UNSC, are like talking about the fight with the Covenant. And it felt like just last episode, it was more about the insurrectionists and the Spartans being there to deal with the insurrectionists. And now it's all about the Covenant and getting a one-up on the Covenant. It just moved very sporadically.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm just trying to like run through my head like what was said about like Covenant and so far. But you're right. Like a lot of them were talking about the Covenant and knowing that they're a threat, but also it seemed like they're an underground threat that maybe not a lot of people know about yet.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure how much
people
of
Madrigal didn't believe that.
Yeah,
it
there
was
was like
them.
it was like the implication of like the Covenant are real, right? That was kind of I'm trying to remember.
Yes.
That was something that was said, I believe. But
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why
It's-
it just makes me like, wait, what?
Yeah, as I said, I'm a lot of head scratching of like, oh, okay, you're choosing to focus on that, or this is the route you want to go, and it hasn't paid off yet. But who knows? It might end up turning into a really good show, even if it is very different from what we know. I'd like to see more of Silver Team. The actors, they didn't hit for me this episode, unfortunately, but they kind of did nothing. They floated out to go see Master Chief, and then he came back anyway.
He came back, so they're just out there doing their own thing.
Hey, you know what? They got dressed to keep their helmets off. They put them on, put them back off.
Yeah. They just, sat in the shit with their helmets off.
And now we
So-
got Halsey and we got Boldsy,
Let's see.
and we'll
see the dynamic between the two.
we'll find out, you know.
Mhm,
But overall, I give it a 6 out of 10. I know some people might feel a bit stronger about this, but it just kind of left me the same way as last time. Like I didn't dislike watching anything. I some questionable things in it and like plots of like, is that the way you want to go? But just viewing it as just an hour of television, it's enjoyable enough. I'm a bit baffled at how they're approaching the whole thing, but as I said, they did come out and say this is different, so
They did try to make this very clear, but I just feel I'm not sure why they did that, when I feel like on a silver platter they could have had a lot of even just other lore storylines that they could have followed and had it like written out for them, whereas I feel like they're making their job more difficult by going in a completely different route like this.
Yeah, I understand some things like why you'd try to change it and add more humanity,
Creative liberty and stuff.
yeah, but we'll see if it pays off. Right now, it's not paying off a ton for me personally, but I don't think it's nearly as bad as like maybe some people are offended by it. You know, we still have the games, we still have those stories, and they're
That's true.
still great.
They're not going anywhere.
No, so
Yeah.
hopefully it continues to improve, and I hope we get to a point where we're seeing some really cool Halo things.
Absolutely.
Like we've seen in the trailers, we get to see like the Legolo worms, the hunter worms.
Right, yeah.
The Legolo, I believe, is what maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, but
yeah.
we get to see them. Man, there's like we might get some really cool stuff that is Halo. Like we might get to the point where there's the ring and the flood and a lot of these things. Yeah.
I'd love to see Flood in this, but I can't imagine that's the direction they're going.
We could see like ODST and things like that. Like
ODST would do so well on a TV show.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we will see. I think that the Halo world is right for so many different stories to be told. This is the one they've chosen to tell. Hasn't paid off yet, but we'll see.
Yeah. And we can always just replay Halo 2 in our spare time.
Halo 2, great.
Very nice story.
Yeah, Halo Reach is also very, very good.
Oh, yes.
The original trilogy is really good.
Fire.
We shouldn't just talk about the games.
Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed, and please let us know your thoughts on the first 2 episodes so far. And are you going to keep watching? What do you think? And we shall see you in the next one. So please make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and we'll see you next week. Say bye, Jordan.
Bye.